Coming up this morning on DITV, we have new updates on the status of the Molly Tibbetts trial. And later, we sit down with the UI Director of Housing and Dining to discuss current issues with on-campus living.
We are back in business, baby, and I'm here to give you all the news on Iowa volleyball and football.
Will the weather be nice for this first week of class? Stay tuned for weather to find out.
All that and more coming up on this Monday, August 26th edition of DITV. Don't go anywhere, DITV starts right now. There's an update on the Molly Tibbetts trial as the court date soon approaches. The case was moved from its original start date of September 3rd to November 12th. Christian Bahina Riviera, who was charged with first-degree murder of the former University of Iowa student, waived his right to a speedy trial. A hearing to decide whether authorities violated Riviera's rights during the investigation slowed down the trial process. Riviera's attorney claims his rights were violated by law enforcement during questioning because he was not given a capable Spanish translator. The secondary hearing moved from August 23rd to October 22nd. We will continue updating you as we follow the story throughout the process. This year, the University of Iowa has over 6,400 students living in on-campus housing, which made move-in a challenge. According to Department of Housing and Dining, several students are moving into expanded housing to start their year at Iowa. This means that instead of living in a typical dorm room, students will temporarily live in dorm lounges until spots in normal dorm rooms open up. The Department of Housing and Dining hopes to remain permanent rooms for the students of living in extended housing by midterms. All the freshmen moving into campus housing also participated in On Iowa this weekend to get ready for the new school year. We sent DITV reporter Melissa Meter to check out all the action.
The University of Iowa's On Iowa program for the incoming freshmen just ended this weekend. From activities like Kickoff at Kinnick and the President's Block Party, all to get the new students accustomed to the University of Iowa campus. What was your favorite On Iowa activity?
I would have to say the kickoff at Kinnick because I'm not athletic enough to play football here, so it was cool to be on the field once in my lifetime.
You know, I'm not going to agree with you, and the kickoff was fantastic. The fireworks, you know, kind of falling down tradition of waiting on the show. But I had a blast. I don't know about you. Holy cow. Great time so far. We're having a blast out here.
Okay, thank you guys. Reporting from the President's Block Party, Melissa Meter, DITV News.
Well, it is the start of syllabus week, and we do have our first football game at the end of this week, so let's toss it to Melissa in the weather studio to see what this week will look like.
This week it's looking pretty okay, but today for the first day of class it's going to be pretty gloomy. We're going to have a high of 67 this morning and a 45% chance of rain. And then tonight, it's going to be 76 degrees with a 45% of scattered thunderstorms. Now let's look at the 5-day forecast. On Monday, we're going to have a high of 79 and a low of 62 with a 60% chance of scattered thunderstorms. On Tuesday, we have a high of 80 and a low of 57. On Wednesday, we'll be mostly sunny with a high of 78 and a low of 55. On Thursday, we'll be sunny with a high of 85 and a low of 63. And Friday will be a high of 80 and a low of 58 with a 20% chance of rain. Remember to pack your umbrellas for your first day of classes, guys. Abby, back to you.
Thanks, Melissa. Earlier this summer, UI Associate Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Juan Wilson, resigned from his position after just 7 weeks, which has caused controversy about the terms of his exit. Daily Iowan Editor-in-Chief Marissa Payne is standing by in the news studio to tell us more.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, Juan Wilson resigned. He just started June 28th as Associate Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and he signed his separation agreement with the university on August 9th. The Daily Iowan requested his contract, and according to those terms, he had a salary of $224,000, and he will keep that in his current role. His title now is Special Assistant to the Vice President for External Relations, and he will telecommute to work and is permitted to job hunt during work hours. He also did not have to repay $25,000 in move-in expenses, as stipulated in his original contract, though he was supposed to repay those expenses if he left the UI within a year of beginning. He will officially leave no later than January 31st, 2020.
Thank you, Marissa. Well, again, with the school year starting, we cross back into Hawkeye sports, so let's go over to John in the sports studio with more.
That's right. We have big news coming out of the Iowa volleyball program. Over the summer, Bon Szymanski was fired after being paid on administrative leave, and we have Iowa DITV sports reporter Kimberly Bates live in the newsroom to give us more on that story. Kim?
Good morning, Jonathan. On June 20th, Szymanski had officially been fired from the university's head volleyball coach role. The university released a statement saying, quote, "The violation includes intentionally providing an impermissible benefit to a prospective student athlete who went on to compete for the UI volleyball program and is now a former student athlete," end quote. Within only 1 day of his termination, Szymanski then released his own statement saying, quote, "For the past month, I've cooperated with the university's request to remain silent regarding the underlying basis for my suspension. Now that I have been terminated, it is time to shed light on the details and end any wild speculation. I did not discriminate against, abuse, or harass anyone, and there has never been an allegation of sexual misconduct against me. In an act of compassion, I advanced funds to cover a young woman's unanticipated summer expenses in 2017. She came to Iowa City to be on full scholarship, but when that status changed, she had nowhere else to turn. I have prided myself on running an NCAA compliant program. However, I understand that I didn't, quote unquote, do it right by NCAA standards in this instance, and I'm prepared for whatever sanction is deemed appropriate by the NCAA," end quote. Former assistant coach Vicki Brown will be taking over as interim head coach for the 2019 season.
Thank you, Kim. And speaking of interim head coach Vicki Brown, let's hear what she had to say about the Bon Szymanski incident and how the Hawkeyes can look forward to this season.
The benefit with our captains, Emily Bushman, Megan Bizzario, and Bree Orr, is that they've always projected forward movement. And that's what we came in as a staff and as my new role here as a head coach. It's always been about what are we doing next, what's next, what's next. And so I believe within that mindset, we've been able to really accomplish some good things in the summer and then going into these 2 weeks here.
Even with all the controversy surrounding the Iowa program, the Hawkeyes will be looking to their freshman class to give them the grit they need to get off to a fast start this season.
They have grit, and you know, our incoming freshman, who is ranked 24th in the nation coming in, they have been counting down for about 3 years to get to this point. And the benefit is that they have always been about keeping it forward and being part of taking this program to the next step.
Definitely our grit of being able to just like work through points, and even if we don't get like the first kill on the first ball, we work so hard to just like not let the other team score, get every ball out and put the ball down when we know we have the opportunity to.
Just whatever is going on the court, off the court, and then just having that mindset of like leading the team in grittiness. And like Bree, Emily Bushman, and I have really tried to make that an emphasis of showing the new people how to be gritty on the court and how to just have that type of a mental mindset. So.
Iowa heads to the James Madison tournament where they will take on Stony Brook and Harrisonburg, Virginia. Meanwhile, with all that volleyball stuff that's going on, Hawkeye fans are anxiously awaiting the start of football season. And the Iowa offense says this is the most crucial time to having a successful season.
Stuff's not going to go 100% all the time, and I think you just got to keep coming out here to work every day, focusing on the details and wanting to get better.
This period of time is very important and very crucial for like the growth of our team, and you know, as an offense, just gelling and you know, learning the concepts and getting everything to work smoothly for when we get to those games.
This Saturday kicks off the Iowa Hawkeye football season as they'll take on Miami of Ohio. But that's all we have in the sports studio for you today, so tune back in for field hockey and soccer tomorrow. Abby, back to you.
Thank you, John. Well, this summer's presidential playlist belongs to former President Barack Obama. Yesterday, Obama released his own summer playlist, which has 44 songs, ranging from hits like Juice by Lizzo to timeless tunes by Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, and Stevie Wonder. So if you need a boppin' new playlist to walk to class to, I'd vote for this one. Well, that's all we have for you on this first day of class morning edition of DITV News. Be sure to head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news this school year. And if that isn't enough of the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out our print edition of the news on stands now. For DITV News, I'm Abby Napolis. Have a great first day, Hawkeyes.